Primal Queen are making over $7 million every single month, and I'm going to completely break down their funnel. I've done a full video for you. I'm going to break down all of their ads, where they're sending their paid traffic to, their landing pages, their email marketing. This is going to be super valuable. Apparently, these guys have done over 30 million literally just in their first 18 months. So there's a lot of learnings that we can draw from this to apply to our own brands, whether you are thinking of starting a supplement brand or you're looking to scale yours at the moment. Now, I'm going to pull over to my own brand. So I have also made a supplement brand. Nowhere near as successful as these guys yet, but I'm sure we'll get there one day. Now, I've done over 2 mil in supplement sales over the past few years. And I'm basically going to break down exactly all of the learnings, because this is something you can put directly into your own brand pretty much straight away. So let's get into it. What I'm going to start with is they have a single long form hybrid homepage / landing page. I'm going to pull it up in here just so you can see it. A lot of entrepreneurs, and I work directly with supplement brand owners, come to me thinking they need this fully integrated e-com store with all of the bells and whistles. And this is perfect evidence that you don't need that. You need simplicity. And this is a single hero product brand as well. I think they've only just recently released a secondary product, but they don't promote it anyway. It's not on the website. You can get to it through social media, but a lot of you think that supplement space is maybe saturated, or it's very hard to market, or it's very hard to do this with one product. You need this whole suite of cool, new, innovative ranges. And these guys are perfect evidence alongside myself, because I also have a hero product, that you don't need to do that. It's just keeping things simple. So this is where, if you do any sort of Google search, you go directly to the URL, you're going to get to this. And this is just all one page. So breaking this down, this is your above the fold section. Your arguably, in my opinion, the most important piece of digital real estate that you have to work with. And this is basically the mobile screen that they're going to land on once they click your ad. So we have logo, we have social proof, we have a very clear headline that stands out and contrasts, that is focused on exactly what the product is and what the desired result is and who it's for. It's a quick subtitle, and then very good, strong product imagery. The branding on this is amazing. It's very obvious. It's for women. It's very kind of pink. The call to action here is everything for me. It contrasts, it pops, it's big. The green on the pink perfectly stands out. So it's very clear exactly where they're drawing your attention to and what they want you to click on. They're leading with a science-backed base here as well, which I think is incredibly important, particularly in supplements, because remember, these are ingestibles. These are things people actually have to put into their body. And they always have the objections of what is it, how does it work, who else is using it, is it safe? And leading with science or narrative is something that these guys do really well. And I would recommend, instead of you going straight for the sale like most do and going straight to product page, educate them, talk to them. This is how you are able to craft narrative around the specific pain point or problem or product that you're solving. That really makes a big difference. Okay, all of these call to actions are the same if we look on the landing pages, and they all anchor down to the product section here. I'm not spending too much time on this because this is probably a whole video in and of itself, but my point is we're leading with narrative and storytelling as opposed to going straight for the kill. Watch the product, watch the background, why does it exist? We have a very strong founder story here as well, and why they're different. And again, this really separates you from anything and everyone else who is also selling particularly in the same industry, or if they have the same product, because no one can compete with you. What's your reason for being? Why should someone buy from you? Where's that point of resonance? Remember, people buy from people, and this is such an important concept to remember, whether you're starting or you're looking to scale. Don't go straight for the kill, all right? Again, educating how long it's going to take, what to expect from it. We're backing things up with science claims. We have third-party logos on here if in case there's any objections from customers on safety and utility. Very clear how to use. Again, more education on the products, ingredients, what it does, what they're for, why they're important. Again, a little bit here on the products, on why the product's different, and again, maybe quality standards, sustainability on this side of things, which again, for some customers is important. But the way they formulated this is by thoroughly, deeply understanding their customer and crafting narrative that actually resonates with them, what's important to this specific avatar. For example, like being in the US, or certain lab tests, quality controls or certifications. This is all really important parts of being able to sell supplements online. They have urgency in here as well. They've got tons of social proofing. Again, as I said before, founder-led. We're telling stories. We're not selling. We're leading with value. We kind of have this give before you get mentality. Again, storytelling here is just fantastic. And this, if you have a product that you use or you're looking to, again, you get value from. And this is why I say, if you're starting out, if you can pick and repackage or reposition a product that you use and get value from, and then you tell your story through this. This is what separates you from everyone, and no one can compete with you on that. And again, the way we do this, telling the founder story, getting out in front, and basically saying, just telling your story. I was struck, this was me 5-10 years ago or 6 months ago. Then I found this product and it completely changed my life. This is exactly the same narrative that they've built into this long form landing page. And again, it's all education. Some might think it's too much text, but I think it's important because we're leading on narrative. And as we're going to go into the funnel, we'll see that they lean on this a lot. All of their paid traffic is going to long form sales, advertorials or listicles, which are very text heavy, but they're storytelling. And this is what resonates particularly with this audience. Again, going into the product, what it is, the ingredients, how they work. And then we have a very clear hero offer here, which is very much skewed and stacked in favor of the customer with all of these free gifts. Again, they're always going to push for subscribe and save first, which, as we know, for supplement brands is really important because we don't have huge margins to play with. I know this is in Indonesian rupiah, so ignore that. If you're in the US or UK or anywhere else, it's not $2 million. Do the conversion, you figure it out. But yeah, the point is it's stacked. We have very good use of product infographics here if we can cycle through them. All really important, and all of these elements are things you can draw direct inspiration from to put into your brand straight away. If this is too much for the customer, they have a downsell offer, which again is it's very much skewed in favor of the subscribe and save with the free gifts and the free shipping, etc. But they still have the option there for those who don't want to be locked into subscribe and save. Then we have tons of social proof. Like this is like the perfect breakdown of what I think, in my experience and opinion, formulates a very good homepage / landing page, and the fact that we don't need to have this fully integrated e-com store. Right, so we broke this down. Now let's go into the meta ads library. Now this is really important for you guys if you are running ads or thinking about running ads, because they don't just run one type of ad. They have multiple ones. So they have graphic design. Again, you can see here that these are super simple to make really on Canva. They don't take long at all. And some of these have been running a very long time. Again, education, and not to shop now because it's not offer focused. They really understand the problems that their customers struggle with, and this is kind of here. So we have that point of harmonic messaging. The branding is on tone. We're leading with reviews. Hey, all of these graphic design things, these should not take more than half an hour to put together, and they're obviously doing really well. So yeah, a couple options on there. Next category is they have UGC, and there's a lot of these going. So this is obviously either direct users or they're using influencers. I don't have the video to play, but you understand that this formulates a really strong part. And this is essentially the concept of customers selling to customers, which is the same as this. I have CGC. For me, CGC means customer on consumer generated content. So these are real people who are actually using and get value from the product, I assume. Maybe they're actors, I don't know. Maybe you can do your research. But essentially, these ads do not look like ads. They look genuinely like people. Like they're native to feed, okay? Like there's no product placement, they're not holding product, they're just literally talking about their problem and linking it directly to the solution. And I'll show you where they're pointing traffic to in a moment, but let's just stick on this. Now, for your different levels of consumer sophistication, if the frequency is high, they are now kind of, they're in the brand, they understand it, they've seen it, they've had a couple of touch points. They also run offer-led ads. So again, whether there's a bit of FOMO and agency in here, I think we have this one a little bit further on. But again, just simple graphic designs, nothing crazy. Right, literally. Us versus them, we'll come into this in a second, but it's all about getting good, strong narrative. And I think this is like fantastic for you guys to emulate and take inspiration from. Next one is we have storytelling, and this again fits perfectly in line with where they're pointing their paid traffic to. So again, graphic design, super easy, shouldn't take too long to mock up. Product in the front, couple of avatars, like really, really easy. Again, talking through what to expect on the product. Again, talking directly to the product, talking directly to the problem as well. Like this is probably, it's AI. I think it's pretty obvious to see that because we're probably sophisticated enough as entrepreneurs to figure out what's AI and what's not. But like this will not take long to spit out, whether you're using AI, we're using Canva, etc. But just look how they're weaving the narrative, and they have these different type of ads running. They also have an us versus them. Again, as you're moving customers through that call to warm, I think it's also important to still lead on education, but it's also understanding why should someone buy this product versus what everyone else is doing or what you're already used to doing. I think this is like a massive massive hack for you guys to focus on. If you're not running these and separating your ads into these different types of categories, massive opportunity. 4 more here, which is technically linked to offer as well. And when they say sold out, I think they genuinely are sold out on one of their products as well. So they're not even lying. I do something similar with my own brand, but I also generally a lot of the time am sold out. So again, this is the urgency and the scarcity, and because it's actually real and true, this actually makes people want it more. Where you might think it's opportunity cost, but actually this is just really good marketing. And then of course, proof, testimonials, always gonna do well, particularly so for those who are a lot more warmer traffic. They're a bit skeptical, and as I said before, people like to buy from people, and they want to see others who look and talk like them or have the same problems getting the same results. So when you're setting up your ads, like separate, don't just scatter your ads, like put them into these categories, have different strategies for all of these. So UGC, CGC, offer-led, storytelling, us versus them. These are, again, this is modeling success, so we don't have to reinvent the wheel. I think this is super valuable for you guys. All right, so most of this traffic is going here to this advertorial. I'm going to pull up on the screen so we can check it out together. Load it up. I'm just going to put this in mobile view as well, because it's safe to assume most are going directly to the mobile page. Now, this is a fantastic example of an advertorial. Okay, so I on the bottom here, I've just kind of broken down the anatomy a little bit, just so you know if you're trying to emulate this, exactly what they've done and how you can draw inspiration from this. This is solely just on the above the fold section again, which, as we've discussed, is your most important piece of digital real estate. But look what they're doing. This looks like an article. It doesn't look necessarily like a brand, right? This is very, very good marketing. They're leading with narrative. It looks independent. There's nowhere else for you to click. This doesn't work. Yeah, the only thing you can do again is the eye-catching call to action, which is here. And now we're straight back into storytelling. And all of this is exactly what your customers need to know to be educated enough to want to buy the product. They're building desire. And this is again, perfect example. It might look text heavy, but this is, they've anticipated all of the objections. They've brought it together in such a way where the flow follows the who, what, where, why, how, backed it up with social proofing, and then again the us versus them, which is probably what the main objection is going to be from most customers before they buy. Same elements, a lot of the same elements from the homepage as well, and then straight back into the offer. And again, I think this is fantastic, and then the social proof on the bottom. But guys, if you're starting out, if you're scaling, you can literally model what these guys are doing. I'm not saying copy it. I'm talking draw inspiration from it and make your own version, and test running traffic to these pages, because these, if it's doing well for these and these guys are doing 7 mil a month, why are you not doing it? This is massive opportunity cost. Model the traits of the great. Stand on the shoulders of giants. Don't go off on your own way. Like if your store isn't converting very well, if your ads aren't doing great, your two variables really are creative, exactly what we're talking here. So to make sure we're getting good quality traffic through, and then curating that post-click experience. I also found that they're running to this listicle as well. I'll pull this up on the screen just so we can run through it together. And this is also really good. I'll put it in mobile mode again, just so you can see what it looks like from a user's perspective. But look at this. It looks so ugly, really. Not much white space. But this is obviously performing. They're running it. They're running paid traffic to this. And again, it's very science-led, which again links to the motto of the brand, which I think is really important. So yeah, it's very research focused. All of the imagery, all of the language is exactly what their target customer looks like and talks like. They understand the problems, and it is impossible for you to sell a solution or a product or a supplement to someone that you don't know more about them than they know about themselves. It is literally that important. And you're basically drawing out this information and repackaging it or repositioning it in a way where you're building desire, you're agitating the pain point. And this is exactly what this is doing. As your potential customers go through this, you literally in their head want them thinking, yes, this is me. Yes, you've just described my problem. You're creating desire. Yeah. And then you're taking them on this journey of what the product is, how it works, why they need it, what makes it different. And again, they've just nailed this. It's fantastic. And as I said before, if you're not doing something like this, if you're not testing listicles or advertorials, draw inspiration from these guys. Like literally, as I said, don't copy things directly, but draw inspiration. Take the best bits and create your own version, but do it better. All right. This is a fantastic way for you to bypass the process of like finding your way in the dark and just do what others are doing. These guys are killing it. All right. And you see that they reuse a lot of sections as well, which means that they've probably done the user testing on it. They've done all the conversion rate optimization. So you can assume safely that this is high converting. So you can pretty much emulate these elements and make them your own. So now we understand this, let me just very quickly rattle through the top elements. So these are just a couple of points on that these guys have done on the listicle that I think is important for you. So we're talking about a disruptor angle. So this is basically the narrative needs to be threatening, and this is why these kind of newspaper advertorial type landing pages do really well. It is literally implying that this is an industrial shift coming. It attracts attention, just like the news hacks your attention and gets you to look at it or watch it 10 times a day. We're doing the same thing. And again, it doesn't look like an advert. It literally looks like an educational piece. This is where this investigative frame, again, exactly, this is the same concepts all of the news outlets do, mass media. They do exactly the same things. And we're just kind of utilizing those concepts of how you hijack attention and convert that attention into paid dollars, whether advertising dollars as the media do, or whether it's actual product sales as we're looking for. There's all really good things we can lean on. Again, hyper-specific claims linked to the problems. We have a very strong scientific bias, again, which you can see throughout with Primal Queen. We have visual proof before and after. We're using borrowed authority when it comes to like external logos. Again, this is more credibility for customers. So if they don't already know, like, and trust you, they have that kind of sense of safety that I suppose encourages them to want to buy the product, essentially, because it's external, therefore it must be true. Again, the content disguise, like, it literally looks like a newspaper article, hence the advertorial side of things. And then, of course, the unique mechanism teaser, which again is just kind of this secret potion or new invention, whatever you want to call it. It builds curiosity, it justifies its effectiveness, it's something new, it's novel, people like these type of things. So if you're able to shape your ad messaging, and make sure with the advertorials, it's the same with the listicles as well, you don't need to run these like specific ads. You can start the storytell in the ad and make sure that the landing page, the listicle, the advertorial carries through on that promise and starts to educate them in a way that doesn't look or feel like they're being sold to. We're literally just building section on section so that by the time they get to that product section, they're ready to buy, they're primed. Okay. Same for listicle here. So if you want to kind of pull a few elements of what these guys are doing to make it your own, then we just follow this flow. So we have found a story, we have an us versus them. In here, I've got an enemy versus or villain narrative, but we understand their frustrations. Maybe like it's an old way of doing things. Again, we're basically just trying to create a push and pull polarity here, and it's kind of it focuses on urgency. And there's a new solution. Why are you still doing that? The old way of this, the new way, better, faster, stronger, cleaner, whatever it is, we're linking it to this as a better solution. The testimonial hook, so this could be someone who's bought from you, average customer. Again, remember, people buy from people, so we're falling back on this this concept where if these guys and they have the same problem as you, they look like you, they talk like you, if they've got a good positive solution out of this, there's no reason you shouldn't too. The use of language as well. We're trying to invoke the senses. This is why it's called sensory or tangible language. I got a couple here, like tingling burn, melts in seconds, silky smooth finish. Like we're trying to, because we can only sell through pixels, and our only three variables are copywriting, images, and video. It's people, especially with supplements, they can't taste, smell, touch. They have no senses. So if you can utilize your copywriting to help them get into that emotive field, particularly so if you're selling to women, this is a massive hack and something you can pretty much put in straight away, but it just requires you to get good at copywriting. Use ChatGPT, like use chat, use whatever AI tool to really focus in on this. But before you do this, we drive everything back to first principles, which is knowing more about your customer than they know about themselves. 5, agitation problem. This is how, what I call that marketing term of kicking their bruised knee, where we're literally pushing on the pain point. We want them to get into that emotional state before we present the product. This is like such a strong psychological principle that you can build into these pages. And again, it's all text, but we're not revealing everything. It's curiosity driven. We're always focusing on that key call to action, and the call to action is always linked to this being the ultimate solution to the problem. But again, you don't know that until you understand your customer thoroughly, and just dialing things back and speaking to customers, or if it's something you've built to consume yourself because you've got value from it, which is always the best way, then just falling back on your direct experience. Another one here, contrarian insights. So this is if you're able to myth bust in this hero section. Again, these guys are like the perfect example of this on here. Like they've been lied to. Again, it invokes your attention. I want to know, wait, I've been lied to. This encourages me to read because I want to know why, just as you would in a newspaper article. So again, massive one there. And then of course, social momentum. So we have I don't know if we've got any on here, but the stats, I think it's more on the homepage, where we're basically backing everything up with social proofing or FOMO, so they've sold out. It's just all around perceived demand. But yeah, I'm hoping this is useful, by the way. They also have an email, SMS pop-up. If you don't do this, if you're not doing this already, you're leaving mad cash on the table. I would say between 40 and 60% of my revenue every month comes from emails. And this is not just on the back end, but it's also on the front end, because with supplements, remember, these are technical products and most people are not going to buy in the first visit. They want to understand what it is, how it works, who else is using it. And you only have limited time and attention when they're on your landing page. So if you can get them into your ecosystem and start to educate them with value-led email flows, whether it's a welcome flow, if it's your abandoned series, or once they've purchased, this is when the relationships start, not end. And this is where a lot of dropshippers go wrong. And they really struggle for running sales because their email list isn't engaged. They have no SMS list. Their open rates are horrible. Whereas if we're nurturing this list, this is where you'll really start to stretch out your LTV. Obviously, you can boost your AOV as well because they're going to come back, and technically they're going to buy more as well. This is key. For Primal they focus a lot on SMS, which I think is actually a really good strategy because the open rates on SMS are really high. But again, I know you don't have a huge amount of space to work with, but just make sure you have your basic email flows. If you're launch with a welcome series and the abandoned series. And of course, once you're up and running and live, make sure you have a post-purchase sequence, which is long. It educates them. It shows them customer stories. It shows them how to use the product, all of this. I will do a separate video. I think I probably have already done already. It'll be linked here or here, which will break that down. And of course, here they generally are sold out, which is good. So instead of directing attention and losing attention, they're collecting emails, they're building their database. So when the product does come back in, they have a ready-made user base who already know that this is something that's in high demand. It's already sold out. And of course, they're collecting information. So there's no wastage there. This is your SMS flow. And then another thing they're doing really well is for those who haven't bought, maybe they're out of the welcome series or the abandoned series, is the email campaigns that they're leading with are all value-led. And by value-led, I mean, most of these aren't asking for the sale. They're educating them, okay? Like how this links to the problem. Customer stories. Again, back into the same narratives around this secret. Again, it's all these same psychological principles I just discussed that we've built into these advertorials and listicles and the homepage landing page that come together where we're creating this story and narrative. Again, look at the imagery. It's all women of a certain age with a specific problem or set of problems that use the same language. So everything is consistent. All of these emails point straight back to this homepage / landing page hybrid, which has got the offer on it. And it's literally as simple as that. And if these guys are doing 7 mil a month with this very limited infrastructure, there's no reason you can't do the same. I did have a quick look in their socials as well. They're not getting a huge amount of engagement, which is interesting for a brand of this size. But that's like, for me, a mentor told me that likes ain't cash, and that's so true. What is important, obviously, is engagement. But here, every single one of their posts is social proofing. Every single one. There's nothing on here other than telling customer stories, which again builds integrity. And I assume most of these, which are commissioned either with influencers or they're actually real customers, feed straight back into that ad strategy, which again gets that flywheel going. And it's just more social proof. This points to here, which will either send them to this advertorial or it'll send them to a new product page, which I literally just done. We can check this out if you want. Just an example of what a good product page looks like. Let's do it. Let me just put this in mobile view real quick. There we go. And again, it follows pretty much the exact same flow. Founder-led, story-focused, us versus them, why, social proofing, how does it work, what's in it, why you should buy it, very clear call to actions, and I assume offer section at the bottom. Exactly, and it's using the same sections over and over again because they obviously perform. And this is what I'm talking about when it comes to modeling success. We do not need to reinvent the wheel. I also noticed they sell and do quite a bit of volume on Amazon. I can do a very quick breakdown of this if you want. I'll just put it up on the screen and we'll keep this one in normal view. So again, let's just break this down real quick. So super simple. I know you don't have a huge amount of things to work with on Amazon, but irrespective, they have an offer on here. Probably because it's Prime Day. I assume they don't normally do discounts because they're going to want people on the subscription side of things. But this is optimized and dialed in for SEO and obviously for ranking. They have all of these infographics instead of just a picture of the product. They've got videos and customer testimony built in. They've got multi-pack purchases on here. the About Us, and then the thing that's interesting is the A+ content, which follows a very similar flow to the website, where it's founder-led, we're telling stories, we're educating, we're backing it up with science. Again, and what's in it, how does it work, all of this. The why, again, assuming customers don't know, like, and trust, what makes it different, why should I buy from you, social proof, credibility, how it works, etc. Like, they've got all of this dialed in, and I assume customer testimonies at the bottom, and there's a lot you can draw from this. If you're just starting out, if you're trying to scale, if you're not listing on Amazon, I also have my own product on Amazon as well. I think it's a fantastic way for you to increase revenue. Again, I wouldn't really focus if you have this type of brand on Amazon directly, but for me, it makes up maybe 15-20% of revenue, because some people just like to buy on Prime, or they just trust it more. But obviously, you don't have the same level of control on outbound, on sales and marketing than you do on Meta, where you're actually paying for placements. Amazon is very much keyword, SEO focused, and of course, PPC, which is a little bit different. So yeah, I hope this is useful. I'm going to probably do a few more of these videos. So if you have any specific brands that you think are doing well, just stick them in the comments. If you are looking to scale, you're already up and running. If you want direct one-to-one help with me to build your own supplement brand and scale, just like I did, I obviously got mine to 2 million. Some of my clients, Alp, Travis, Ryan, like, these guys are bringing in 6 and 7 figures, and these brands are all less than a year old. There's option to book a one-to-one call. It'll be in the description. So click it and I'll see if we're a good fit. But yeah, that's it, guys. I hope this is useful, and I shall probably see you in the next video. Ciao for now.